All right, excellent. So now the the Devin Desktop's UI is now equivalent to um, the Devin Web Apps UI. I'm not sure how I haven't found the menu item or where to click in order to get this to happen, but for some reason, opening one of the videos triggered this panel to open, and then subsequently is behaving the same way, just with the left and right side swapped. So that's been excellent. So now the Devin Desktop UI is doing actually what I like it to do. Okay, so what you'll see now, actually, let's go back to the Kanban board, and you'll see that it's churning through every single thing in V3 for implementation concurrently. And basically, there are multiple agents or sub agents churning in parallel, working on different things at the same time. I've given it explicit instructions in like standing instructions at the beginning of this project to only do the implementation ones in parallel, and only after all of them are completed do I do the explicit verification ones. So in my plan, I've already listed out a list of unit tests, integration tests, and end-to-end tests. So it's just going to churn through everything at the moment. In my experience from V1 and V2, this is approximately going to take about 10 minutes. While we're waiting for that, let's actually take a look at the open PR for V3, and we can see its status there as well. All right, and we can see that it started the verification task as well. Excellent. So it's got 5 implementation tasks in this epic, and it's also got 3 verification tasks. And actually, let's take a look at the epic. We've got all these sub issues. Very nice. It's so easy to just sit back and watch it churning through and just wait for the the video at the end to see what's going on. Really useful for anything that has a graphical user interface, actually. So yeah, I think with this approach, like setting up the process, defining how you want Devin to work in your project, etc., that's actually the challenging part. And of course, planning the user interface and the backend code, etc., like planning the slices, the affordances, the tickets, decomposing them, etc. Like that's actually going to be the difficult part. So essentially, like this allows you to act as a project manager with some technical knowledge, so that you can steer it in the right direction. You know, like what libraries to use, what is your technical architecture, but you kind of move up from being like a grunt or IC code writer to being an architect, and then you stay at that level. You're no longer writing the code. Devin does that for you. And I think it's even more apparent, this distinction, when you're using Devin versus other harnesses or orchestrators such as Claude Code. And the reason for that is um, because you actually get this cloud instance that manages the whole repo for you. So with Claude Code and Codex, etc., it's still running on your own computer, right? Whereas with the With Devin, it's not running on your computer at all. Like it's running on a cloud instance that is operated and managed in like the DevOps is taken care of for you. And so because of that, you get all these capabilities that you can get with a VPS, such as recording the videos, etc. Yeah. So you're not working on your own computer with a folder on disk, right? And your computer is like everything's happening on your screen. This is actually happening on a different computer, and the scripts are being run and so on and so forth on that computer. So if you essentially will have two states, right? One is the state of the Git repo, i.e., the end product, and then you also have the local state within the VPS that Devin is running, right? Okay, so I would like to open work log over here, but it's not showing up. So how do I get the work log tab over here? Hmm. All right. Anyone from Cognition, if you're listening to this, please add a work log tab. I really like that thing where I can see the progress. All right. So I think it's churned through everything, and I'm going to put Devin to sleep while I wait. And so Devin can wait while I'm reviewing. Hmm. All right, so there are a few problems with this, and I will not approve the PR for that. One is I want and actually, let me just type it in or voice note it in. There are a few issues. So the first is that the plane has not, it disappears halfway through its trajectory. So when it's following the dotted line, approximately 50% of the way through, it disappears. Let me just play that again. Okay, maybe it didn't capture that. First problem is that the airplane, when it flies through the trajectory, it disappears around the 50% mark, and you don't see it go through all of the way through, to the end of the trajectory. The second problem is that the aeroplane should be visible before pressing submit. It should already be on screen at the beginning. The third problem is that the aeroplane is moving too fast. It needs to be approximately one third of its current velocity for the animation purposes. The third problem is that the balloons just sort of disappear. So they're supposed to pop and drop down. So in right now, you do not have any graphic assets. So we'll defer like proper animation. But for now, just make the balloons like decrease in size by a factor of half to simulate popping, and then after that have an animation where they drop like with some gravity, so you see it fall down from wherever it was on the screen down off the bottom before they're removed from the DOM. I create a new bug fix ticket that addresses all of these four problems and then work on that. Add this to the BPA. All right, so while that is churning, I'll go back to here so that I can see the work log in action. So you can see what it's doing while it's churning through. right? So it's completed the implementation and is reviewing some work at the moment. All right, looks like it's manipulating the tickets now. So should be done pretty soon. And actually, you can see that it has several subagents working simultaneously. Um, when you see one command running and another command running at the same time. All right, looks like it's doing a recording. Aha, Devin went to sleep because your usage quota has been exceeded. All right, well, I guess I'll wait for tomorrow or something to continue. That's it for now. But yeah, I hope you had a good idea of what goes on behind the scenes uh, operating Devin to develop a simple application and how I go about doing it. Also, the differences between the brand new, um, just launched desktop application for Devin and how that compares to the web app for Devin. More or less identical, except for my main issue is that this work log tab, I haven't yet been able to figure out how to get it to appear here. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.